Hello friends, good morning everyone. Friends, in the previous video, we have learned about the basic anatomical terminology and basic anatomical structure of the mammalian heart. In this video, we are considering the working of mammalian heart. Friends, the mammalian heart plays an important role in the circulation of blood, and this blood is circulated in the body for the carrying essential and unwanted substances toward the concerned part, and this one is done with a modified tissue. That one is called as the heart. And the heart of human being, this one is placed in the thoracic region. It is enclosed in the pericardium. The heart of the mammal or the human being, this one is a chambered and the two-sided, the left side and the right side. Each side contains the two chambers. The left side contains the left atrium and to left ventricle, and towards the right side there are the right atrium and the right ventricle. The mammalian heart, it performs as a forcing pump as it forces the blood through these aorta, the pulmonary aorta and aortic arch. And through the systemic circulation, these systemic arch, it carries blood to all parts of the body or to the whole parts of the body from the bottom to the top of the body. It is also called as the suction pump because of it sucks deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body. Therefore, the mammalian heart, it acts as like the forcing pump or it acts as like the sucking pump. The action of heart resultant into two alternate but simultaneously occurring phases. The one phase is called as the systole, or this systole is also called as the contraction, and another is the diastole, or this diastole is also called as the relaxation. So this systole and diastole means the contraction and the relaxation in the heart occurs. And due to the contraction and relaxation, the blood forces through these heart chambers. The contraction, due to the contraction or the systole, the heart chamber decreased in their size, and due to the diastole or the relaxation, the heart chambers, they comes to their original positions. These are the alternate phases, the contraction and relaxation, or the systole and diastole. These are the alternate phases. The heart chambers never contract simultaneously. At first the atriums contracts and then the ventricle contracts. Means here is the one systole or contraction is followed by the one diastole or the relaxation, and this one is termed as the cardiac cycle. Means the systole after the diastole, this one is a cardiac cycle, and this cardiac cycle, it constitutes the heartbeat. So the contraction occurs first and then the relaxation occurs, and here the contraction of atriums occurs first and then the contraction in ventricle occurs. Why this contraction occurs? This contraction occurs because of a modified tissue is present in the heart. Particularly in the left atrium, there is a such type of modified heart tissue. This one is called as the pacemaker. This pacemaker is responsible for the contraction of heart chambers, and this is situated in the right atrium at the base of the left precaval vein. Therefore, this one is also called as the sino-auricular node, or this one is also called as the SA node. This is a SA node which is located in the right atrium. The wave of contraction originates from this specialized tissue or the pacemaker, or this one is also called as the sino-auricular node. A wave of contraction originates and it spreads all over the atriums or the auricles. Therefore, the atriums or the auricles, they contracts. This sino-auricular node, it not only regulates the, it not only initiates the contraction waves, but also it regulates the heartbeats. So, where the initiation and the regulation of heartbeat occurs in the heart, such type of heart, this one is called as the myogenic heart. Means the initiation of contraction wave and regulation of heartbeats, they occurs in the heart. Then this heart is called as the myogenic heart. Now, what happens when this atriums or auricle contracts? A wave of contraction, it initiates from this region and it spreads all along the two or both the atriums or the auricles. When a wave of contraction, it originates from this sino-auricular node, it spreads all along the atrium, therefore the atrium contracts. The atrium contracts means the volume of atrium, it reduces. Therefore, whatever blood present in this atrium, atrial chambers, it forces into the ventricle. Suppose in this left atrium, the blood is carried by these 4 pulmonary veins. These are the pulmonary veins, and these pulmonary veins, they bring oxygenated blood into this atrium, right, into this left atrium. And when this left atrium contracts, whatever blood present in this region or in this atrium, it enters through the auriculoventricular aperture and it enters into the ventricle. The oxygenated blood, it enters into the ventricle. The backflow of blood, this one is backflow into these pulmonary veins. This one is prevented due to the oblique nature of these pulmonary veins. So, the blood flows through this auriculoventricular aperture into the ventricle. At the same time, the blood, deoxygenated blood, which is bring by these caval veins, the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava, the deoxygenated blood is carried into this right atrium, and through this right atrium, when this contract, it enters into the right ventricle. So, in the right ventricle, here is the deoxygenated blood, and the backward flow from the atrium to the vena cava, this one is prevented by because of the contraction of wave, it occurs at the base of this opening, therefore this opening closes. So, there is no backward flow. So, from the right atrium, deoxygenated blood enters into the ventricle, and from this left atrium, oxygenated blood enters into the left ventricle. Then we have in the left ventricle, there is oxygenated blood, and in the right ventricle, there is the deoxygenated blood. Then there is another nodal tissue also present here, and this another nodal tissue is present at the bottom of interauricular septum, means here is another nodule tissue. This one is present at the bottom of the interauricular septum there, and at the junction of this interventricular and interauricular septum, therefore this one is called as the AV node, auriculoventricular node. From this auriculoventricular node arises a thick band of muscles. This one is called as the bundle of His. Bundle of His. And from this bundle of His, immediately it bifurcates into two branches. One goes towards the left side and another towards the left side of ventricle, and one towards the right side of the ventricle. These are the bundle of His. This one is a left bundle of His. This one is a right bundle of His. This left and right bundle of His, they subdivides again into the branches as like this. So these branches, these are called as the Purkinje fibers. These are the Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers. So these Purkinje fibers, these spread, innervates all the wall of the ventricles. Here, a wave of contraction originates from the auriculoventricular node. It passes into this bundle of His and then into the Purkinje fibers. When the wave of contraction it reaches on the walls of the ventricles, the ventricle contracts. When the ventricle contracts, their size decreases from the posterior side and from the lateral side. So the volume of this or the size of this both ventricle, it becomes decreased or reduced. Therefore, whatever blood present within these respective chambers or these two chambers, this one is passes towards the aorta. From the left ventricle, the oxygenated blood, this one is passes into the left systemic aorta, and through this left systemic aorta, this one is circulated to the whole parts of the body. Whereas the deoxygenated blood which is present in the right ventricle, it enters into this pulmonary aorta or the pulmonary artery, and it has go to the two lungs, to the left and right lung. So here and in between these atrium and ventricles, there are the valves. In the left, in between the left atrium and left ventricle, there is a valve. This valve is called as the bicuspid valve. This one is a bicuspid valve. Bicuspid, or this one is also called as the mitral valve. Mitral valve. And in between the right atrium and right ventricle, there is also a valve. This valve is called as the tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. The bicuspid valve or mitral valve is having with the two flaps, and the tricuspid is having the three flaps or the cusps. These valves, they controls or they regulates the blood flow. Through this left atrium, the blood flows into the ventricle. At the time of the flow from the atrium to the ventricle, these valves opens, and these valves opens as like this. In this way, this tricuspid valve, this also opens, means they opens downwards. they opens towards the ventricle. But when the ventricle contracts, these valves which are present at the opening of this aorta, in this aortic arch there is a valve. This valve is called as the aortic semilunar valve. It opens as like this, and this bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve, they opens as like this. They opens, these two valves, they opens as like this. So these four valves, the bicuspid valve, tricuspid valve and these two semilunar valve, they regulates the blood flow. What happens here? When the blood flows from the atrium to the ventricle, left ventricle, this valve opens, and when this ventricle contracts, this valve closes, both valve, this and the ventricles, they contract simultaneously. Therefore, the tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, they simultaneously closes, and the blood flows through these pulmonary arteries or through these semilunar valves. Why these closes? Because of when the blood, when the heart or the ventricles, they contracts, they goes up. Both these bicuspid valve and the tricuspid valve, they goes up, but they not much more flaps up, because of here are the chordae tendineae, as like this, the chordae tendineae are present. These chordae tendineae or tendinous chordae, these are innervated to the wall of heart. So these chordae tendineae, they prevents to these bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve to goes more upwards or into the atrium. Therefore, these both valve, the bicuspid valve and the tricuspid valve, they opens as like this and closes as like open, closes, open, closes. Such type of opening and closing occurs at the time of when the ventricle contracts, and these valves, they opens as like this. But when the blood flow passes into this pulmonary and this aorta, when these ventricles relax, the sum of the blood, it flows backwards. Therefore, this opening or these valves, this semilunar valve, they close, means as like this. They opens as like this and close as like open, close, open, close. So these four valves, the bicuspid valve and the tricuspid valve, this and the pulmonary valve, they regulate the blood flow. So here, at the time of closing this bicuspid valve and the tricuspid valve, here a characteristic sound creates. When the ventricle contracts, this bicuspid valve and the bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve, they snap out, and here creates at the time of closing a sound. That sound is called as the lup. This one is a lup. When they closes, a sound creates called lup. And when the ventricles, they are in relaxation phase, these two valves, the semilunar valves, pulmonary atrial semilunar valve and aortic semilunar valve, they closes and they creates the second sound. That second sound is called as the dup. So here the auricles and ventricles, they contract simultaneously. Therefore, the valves, they also closes rhythm simultaneously. Therefore, a rhythm occurs in their sound. At first, the bicuspid and tricuspid valve, they closes and creates first sound. This one is the lup. When it gets relaxed, these openings, these valves, they gets closed, therefore they creates the second sound. So here a rhythmic sound creates lap tap, lap tap, lap tap. The distance between lub and dub is shorter than the next cycle dub and lub. Therefore, a characteristic sound creates, and we call to these are the heart sounds. Lub dub pause. This one is the heart sound. So such type of heart sound creates. Then the cardiac output. The cardiac output refers to the whatever the volume from this left ventricle passes into the aorta. The volume of blood which passes from this left ventricle to the aorta, this volume is called as the stroke volume. Here are the two parts or the two products. One is the stroke volume and another one is the heartbeat. We know in a healthy human person there are the 72 heartbeats per minute. Means 72 heartbeating occurs in a healthy person per minute. And the stroke volume means the blood passes from this left ventricle to the aorta. It is approximately 70 ml. 70 ml per stroke means per contraction of this ventricle. 70 ml of blood, this one is passed per stroke. Then we can calculate the cardiac output. Cardiac output means how much blood flows through this region, through the ventricle. Cardiac output is equal to the stroke volume into the number of heartbeats per minute. Suppose here is the stroke volume is 70 ml and the heartbeats in a minute, these are the 72. When we calculate these two figures, it will be approximately the 5000 ml. So per minute through this left ventricle, the oxygenated blood is 500 ml of oxygenated blood is passed through this aortic arch for the systemic circulation. In 1 minute, the 500 ml of oxygenated blood is carried by this aorta. So we can now then again calculate if in 1 minute the 5 ml means approximately whole blood, it passes through this heart chamber in 1 minute. In our body approximately there is a 500 or 5 liter of blood in the body, and all this blood, this may be circulated through this chamber in 1 minute. Then we can calculate in 1 hour how much blood may be passed through this chamber, and then we can calculate again here the 5000 into the 60 minutes means 1 hour, and here near about the 30,000 ml of blood is passed through this heart, through this chamber of heart in 1 hour. Then we can calculate for the 24 hours. So friends, let us we summarize what we have learned in this topic. We see here the mammalian heart, it is a pulmonary heart. Here is the double circulation. Here are the two nodal tissues. One is present in the right atrium this one is called as the sino-auricular node, which is responsible for the initiation, a wave of contraction, which is responsible for the contraction of these atriums, both atriums. Therefore, the blood drains into the ventricles. Here, there is another tissue. That tissue is called as the nodal tissue. This nodal tissue, from this nodal tissue, a bundle of his runs through the interventricular septum. It innervates to all along the ventricular wall, and when this AV node creates a wave of contraction, it spreads all along the wall of the ventricles. When the ventricle contracts and the oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood, they passes into the aorta. The deoxygenated blood, it passes into the pulmonary aorta, and the oxygenated blood passes into this left aortic arch for the circulation. So, we also here see the what are the heartbeats or the cardiac cycle. One systole or the contraction followed by one the diastole or relaxation. This one is a cardiac cycle, and the systole and the diastole, they constitute the heartbeats. So, the heartbeat is a propagation of the contraction of muscular contraction. So, these are the heartbeats. As well as we also see here how much cardiac output is takes place in 1 minute. Near about 5000 of ml blood per minute. This one is carried through this left ventricle, which is the pure blood and which is circulated to the all parts of the body through the systemic circulation. So, friends, now we will stop here. Thank you.